Game begin.
Well, hello, gentle folk. I'm going to get some velocities for some upcoming ARFCOM gel tests, and I'm going to run a camera while I'm doing it for a couple of reasons. One is I want to have a backup so that I know that I'm getting each velocity for sure. The other reason is I want to share it with you, and the third reason is I'm going to use one of these LabRadars for the first time and see how it works out, and you can come along with me on that journey, as it were.
Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure imagination.
Hopefully this is going to be a boring, nerdy, data-filled video with just lots of numbers and routine shit. But there's a fair chance that I may have to fight with this thing. I don't know. Last night I was trying to set up the Bluetooth on it, and it was not working. I tried it with my Motorola phone, Android obviously, and my an iPad, and it just wouldn't connect with either one of them. The Motorola would pair on Bluetooth, but it would produce a connection error in the LabRadar app, and the iPad just wouldn't even connect on Bluetooth. So all I can do with it is to store velocities on the SD card, which is pretty disappointing. Obviously, I still need to call the company and figure out what the problem is, but you know, it's too late to call them last night, and I needed to get out here and get this stuff done today, so I'll have to call them later, and then I can tell you how that worked out and if I was ever able to get the Bluetooth working. But let's get this show on the road. We're going to start with some American ammo for a trash can gun. We'll be shooting this Winchester Deer Season XP, which is a 123 grain extreme point. And let's see how it works out. Uh-oh, my banana clip isn't working. Nope, just not quite. All right, let's get these in a different magazine. This US Palm banana magazine didn't fit my Wasser 1063, but if I had to blame one part or the other, I think I'd blame the Wasser. Okay, Winchester Deer Season 123 grain extreme point. All right, so we got to push this button to wake it up, to make it trigger. Come on. There we go. So it should be armed now, I believe. Did I charge it? Nope. Anything? I can't see it. Nothing. It didn't detect the shot. Okay. Well, let's figure out why it's not detecting the shot. So it has two different ways it can trigger. One of them is by sound. And since it's really quiet out here, why can't... Now we're not doing anything? Yeah, no shit. No kidding, you couldn't track the projectile. It's not giving me a menu or anything. It's just locked up. Okay. I'll turn it off and on again. Let's set the trigger level. I had it at medium. I'm going to set it down to level 1, which should be the lightest. Okay, so this is going to be series 0001. We'll grab one more round out of this box so we get a 5-round average if we can get this thing working. Okay. Armed. There we go. 2357 is the zero mark. And what's neat about this is it gives you velocities further down range because it's using radar to measure the velocities. So that would be V0 is 2357, and then V11. That's odd. It goes 11, 22, 33, 44, 55. I need to set those distances. But I think that's yards. So V11, 2324, V22, 2291, V33, 2260, V44, 2228, V55, 2197. Let's crank off a couple more. 2364, 2365, 2362, 2364. I think that was the last one. Indeed. Now I want to start a new series. So I push this button here. Okay, yeah, I know it couldn't track the projectile because there isn't one. Come on. No, I disarm it. That's why. I want this. There we go. Then I can. Come on. I don't care about any of that stuff. I just want to start a new series. Okay, how do I start? This thing's already pissing me off. Okay, so off and on again. I also don't like that, like, just pushing the power button turns it off or turns it on. And maybe that sounds stupid, but think about this. If it's sitting in the case, do I want it to come on because the power button got bumped? Or do I want it to come on because the power button got held for 3 seconds or so? I mean, I'd prefer it's not even a power button. I'd prefer it's a big, clunky, slidey switch thing to turn it on and off. But, okay, so now I can create a new series. So yes, yeah, I want to create a new series. And because Bluetooth isn't working, I can't name the series or anything. It's just Series 2. Okay, well, all right, I guess we're ready, I think. Okay. Orange light's on. It should be ready to trigger. This time we're going to be shooting Lake City M193. A little sluggish. .3369. V11 is 3327, V22 3285, V33 3244, V44 3203, V55 3162. I know I'm wearing a lapel mic, so it probably sounds like I'm yelling to you guys because I still got the ears in. Sorry. Three, 4, 4, 5. 3, 4, 2, 9. 3, 2, 5, 4. 3, 4, 6, 4. Got my Peace Through Superior Firepower sticker. Peace pot and microdot. We're gonna do Winchester 64 grain power core. .2259 V11 is 2220, V22, 2180, V33, 2142, V44, 2104, and V55, 2066. $2224, $2244, $2206, $2229. Today, Junior. Now we're gonna do arms core, 62 grain, pointed soft point, I think. Yeah, 62 grain PSP. $2579, V11 is 2537, V22 is 2495, V33 is 2454, V44 is 2414, V55 is 2374. $2596, 2486, 2512, 2510. And Series 5 will be Spear Gold Dot, 62 grain. Let's look at the end of the box. There's a lot number. And go. $2381, V11 is 2345, V22 2308, V33 2273, V44 2239, V55 2202. All right. Oops, I had it in binary. Sorry. 2424, 2388, 2347, grab one more round so we can have a 5-round average. $2414. This was donated by Michael Taylor, an attorney around town, here in the Phoenix area. It's Atomic Tactical Cycling Subsonic. It's 112 grain round nose soft point. We're going to be gel testing that. Oh, okay. It produced an error, said it can't track the projectile. I forgot. You have to tell this what velocity range to expect. That's subsonic, so I had it in the rifle velocity range. I was kind of curious whether it could pick up projectiles in another velocity range, and apparently the answer is no. So I'm going to put that in the handgun velocity range. So handgun is, I want to say, 600 to 1500 feet per second, and then rifle is 1500 to 4000 feet per second or so. But what I want to know is what happens if I have something that's right at the edge. It's 1500 feet per second. Which one do I pick? And will it be able to capture it if it's right on that line. Who knows? Select velocity, range, handgun. Yep, okay. Now back to that. And yes, do that. Okay. All right, should be ready now. Let's try this again. .912 out of the 10.5-inch barrel. V11 is 870, V22 is 827, V33 777, V14 717, V55 717. So 882. 1039. That one was a bit warmer, wasn't it? All right, and as you see, it did cycle all of those rounds, and it did lock the bolt back on the last round. That's cool. Still gonna be this 112 grain tactical cycling, but this time we're gonna shoot it through a 20-inch 1-in-7 twist. And we're gonna see if it gets much faster. Should be quite a bit quieter anyway. Ah, you stupid. I didn't arm it. Only 2 rounds left. .723, so it's slower from the longer barrel. That's not surprising. V11, 723, that's some weird numbers. V44, 716, and then it just didn't get 22 or 33 yards. Oh, and it missed that one. Okay, well, as you can see, it was cycling, and it did lock the bolt on the last round out of the 20-inch as well, even with the longer gas system. Okay, this one's a little bonus. We actually did not gel test this, but I'm curious as to the velocity, and maybe we will gel test it in the future, so it'll be useful to have that data. This is Pervy Partisan M193, or M193 clone. I guess if it's never been issued, it's not really M193, but it's made to M193 spec. Is there a date on it? Eyes are getting old, I can't tell. Yeah. It's 08, which is the year I bought it. So first we're going to test it from a 20-inch. It's a little dry. That's what she said. And I'm going to remember to arm it this time. .3255. V11 is 3211. V22 3166. V33 3125. V44 3084. V55 3040. Huh. All right, let's get some more. 3240. 3279. 3255. 3289. Okay, same, Pervy Partisan M193, but from a 10.5-inch barrel. 2669. V11 2632, V22 2593, V33 2557, V44 2521, V55 2484. Two 782, 2681, 2721, 2725. So this is going to be Fiocchi 180 grain jacketed hollow point. As you can see there, there's the end of the box. This was graciously donated. He didn't ask for a shout out or anything, but I figure that's the least I can do for donating the pews. Okay, so this is going to be Fiocchi 180 grain jacketed hollow point from G20. And that's going to be series 10. .1162. We got V11 is 1134, V22 1108, V33 1086, V44 1069, and it didn't get a V55 because I aimed at a target that was a little bit closer. Let me aim a little bit further out. .1153 at the muzzle, V11 1128, V22 1102, V33 1081, V44 1065, V55 1050. .1136, and the V55 is 1044. .1139, and the V55 is 1044. And we've only got 4 rounds for each. This is going to be the same ammo, but fired from the TNW Arrow survival pistol. And, you know, I only had 8 rounds left after. The reason I'm doing all this is when we did the gel testing, the Caldwell G2 that I had it was producing all kinds of weird velocities, and I used up a fair amount of ammo trying to chase that around and figure it out. Got down to 8 rounds. We decided to put a fork in it, got a different chronograph, or I don't think you even call it a chronograph anymore when it uses radar. So anyway, got 4 rounds left. The TNW survival carbine or pistol or whatever this thing is. I got it, and it's really not that fast. It's 1264 from this thing. So we got V11 1236 at 22 yards, 1207 33 yards, 1178. 44 yards, 1152, and 55 yards, 1125. .1280, 1264, 1275, and I think that was it. Indeed. Okie dokie. This is going to be MagTech 9mm 95 grain jacketed soft point. And I'll be shooting it from a Glock Model 22 with a Lone Wolf 9mm conversion barrel. Looks thusly. I like when I put in the description that I'll be shooting this 9mm cartridge from my Glock Model 22, and of course, it's almost always somebody So chime in and say, well, Glock 22 is a 40 caliber. How are you shooting 9mm out of it? Thusly. Okay, let's arm. $13.78. That sucker's moving. All right, so at 11 yards, $13.25, 22 yards, $12.70, 33 yards, $12.19, 44 yards, $11.70, 55 yards, $11.24. $12.87, $13.77. Well, that was interesting. $13.89. Oh, it didn't extract it. Huh. There's that 9mm conversion for you. $13.60. I got another question I want to answer. So you noticed that pause between each shot. That's not just me trying to be able to read the screen or something like that. That's it. It takes a little while to calculate and display or something. I don't know, because it's not displaying the numbers immediately like on the chronographs that I've used. It has to think about it. And that means, so with the Caldwell G2, when it was working correctly, you could connect a Bluetooth and you can shoot a string, and you know it's going to report every velocity to the Bluetooth, and it's instant. And you could just shoot at whatever comfortable pace you wanted to, and it would pick up all the shots. So I'm going to fire 3 shots rapid fire here and see if it catches them. And then I'm going to fire 3 shots at just at kind of a medium pace and see if it catches those. I really don't know how many rounds I put in this mag. Yeah, that's counted as shot 1. This is Series 13, by the way, and still MagTech 9mm 95 grain JSP. Oh. I don't know how well you can see that. Let's angle this toward the camera and the sun without pointing it at my own face. But there's a fired case in there. I guess every now and then the extractor's a little. So I've had this happen with Glocks in the past, where the extractor gets a little sticky. So I don't know how well you can see this, but if I push this extractor out, it kind of stays out. So it's got some kind of, there's something sticking there, something caught maybe. Could be a little chunk of brass or lead or something. In any case, I need to take this, detail strip this, and clean out the extractor and all that. Any gun can fail. Glock fanboys and AK fanboys are famous, but lots of other fanboys will talk about how their chosen gun just can never fail. It can, it will. This gun's been through so much crap.
Crawled through a river of shit and came out clean on the other side.
And I haven't detail stripped it in like forever. I thought initially that it's just because the 9mm case head is a little shorter or a little narrower, so the extractor wasn't getting a good grip on it, but no, the extractor's just wonky. Let me get these last few rounds off here and see if this can grab them. Yeah, we're done. Crank off 3 real quick. I think I'll do a binary. Yep, and it still says shot 1. 2745 if you care. Shot 2, 2702. I'm gonna try just a medium pace. Okay, so it got 2 of those because now it's up to shot 4. But you definitely have to wait for each velocity to display for it to get the next one. That was 2751 if you care. And so I put some cheap Walgreens alkaline batteries in it, and so far it's doing okay. It lost 1 bar on the battery to begin with, but that was like 5 or 10 minutes into using it, so I'm not surprised. I mean, depending on how you calculate the capacity of the battery, that's not exactly shocking, because you're not 100% anymore. But over this whole time, it has stayed with only that 1 bar. So I think it's 3 out of 4 bars is still left. So the battery life is not terrible. I wish that it had an internal lithium-ion rechargeable battery. I guess, you know, I could use rechargeable AA's, and it does have a USB port to accept external power, so that could come in useful someday. But, you know, there's just a lot of things about it that are suboptimal, I think. Let me get this a little bit closer so you can see the display. I'll crank it down to here, a reasonable height, and maybe turn a little bit so you can view it better. But the buttons are these rubbery, mushy things that are on so many things nowadays. I'm not super thrilled about that style of button, but you know, that's kind of a personal preference, and it's really common nowadays, so you know, get used to it, boomer. My initial impression of this thing so far is it's really cool, a neat idea. I like that I don't have to set it down range and worry about like maybe hitting it or the screens or something as I'm shooting. Although if you focus when you're when you're shooting over a traditional chronograph, it's not that big of a risk. I don't like that the Bluetooth just didn't work at all. I don't like that I have to shoot pretty slow. I don't like that there's no way for me to name the series for later. The only way is either make a handwritten note or run a video camera and then correlate, okay, what's series 1? Oh, it was this load, which, you know, that's a pain in the ass. And the Bluetooth would resolve that because I could use my voice to dictate what I'm shooting and make the whole process go very smoothly and quickly. It got the data I wanted. The velocities that it was producing seemed reasonable, seemed in the right range. I don't have any reason to expect that it's not accurate. I like this thing. It's expensive, and for that price, I feel like they should have got the details right. But This is my first time out with it, first time playing around with it. I need to call the manufacturer and find out if I'm doing something wrong with the Bluetooth connection and all that. By the way, even if that is the case, even if I am getting something wrong, it's still a little bit of a failure on their part that they didn't make that very clear in the instructions, because I did read the instruction booklet. I did some Googling to find out, you know, if there was a problem, that if that was the case, their website should have they should have engaged in proper SEO to make sure their website comes up when people ask that question, all that. So I can't give them too much slack on that either. Even if it was a mistake I made, they haven't really, there wasn't a lot out there to correct that mistake. I think that's about it.
That's all I have to say about that.
For initial impressions, I may, if I'm not too lazy, I may put together an actual review for my channel. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed the Velocity Nerd stuff. I love you.